Hey. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the download process of SQLite Studio for a Mac OS and go over the interface of SQLite Studio how to upload database in your SQLite Studio. This is the download page for SQLiteStudio. So what you'll see is that there are multiple options if you are using Windows computer, Linux, or Mac OS. For each of them, you have again two options within it. You can either get a zip file and just unzip the file, and then you get the actual software. You can just double click on it and it'll open the software. Or you can follow a more traditional method of installing where you have the installer and you have to set up the installation process, set up a path of where you want it to be when you want the application to be saved. So whichever method you prefer, choose that. And then same thing for the other two operating systems. I believe I chose the Mac OS X, the SQLite, just the DMG, like the zip file. Just double clicked it, so once you download it, it goes directly to my downloads. So save file, and then once I open the download, it verifies. So that's it, and then that's the entire process, and now you have SQLite Studio, and it's pretty similar in a Windows computer too, or in a Windows OS. It does the exact same thing. Just unzip it, and then you have the file. One thing I have noticed, it might be it might be a setting in this particular computer, is if I double click it, I get some error message saying that it won't open because I don't have, or some look like it's because the publisher is not known. But if I just use right click open, I don't have that issue. And then I don't have any issue with that. Okay, so this is the interface of SQLite Studio. What you have, this is your work area, and this is where you have database information that will go in. You have a few things over here. So this is connect to a database, this disconnect to a database. This is when you have multiple databases to go from one to another. If you want to add a database, which you will need to do, let's see, so if you go under database, add a database, SQLite, browse. I just downloaded two database over here, so Rexon Metals, open, and that's it. Okay, so now I have the database Rexon. So this will automatically connect, but if you have multiple database, depending on which one you want to work on, you want to use these switches, they'll connect and disconnect. Okay, so double click on it to see what's on it. So it looks like it has three tables: customer table, customer order table, and then product table. If you double click, now I can see all the columns in the table. So we have customer ID. In the customer table, I have customer ID information, name, region, street address, city, state, and zip. If you want to look more into it, so that's the structure of the data. You'll see this is the primary key. So all fields in this column are unique based on the customer. So each customer, you have one unique customer in this file, where each customer is unique. If you look at the data, so this is a very small data set. This table only has five observations. So these are the five customers. Right? This is used more for education so that you're able to understand how the connections are being made, what the functions and commands are doing. Certain constraints, so these cannot be null. And triggers, so you can play around with that. So it tells you that the name is a text, region is text, street address, city, state, all of these are text, and then zip, that is an integer. Okay. Same thing if you go to customer order table. Now you get more information about each of the orders that they placed. By just linking it with the customer ID, you are saving space in your database. Imagine if this had order ID, order date, ship date, and all order information in addition with everything about the customer, name, address. This would have been a very long table. You are adding more and more information to your database that's taking up more space. So by this now, because this is a foreign key, that means it's a primary key in a different table. So if you want customer information, you can always connect it with the customer table. If you want product information, you can connect it with the product table. That's the data. Those are the different orders that were placed, and these were placed by these customers. So you can see that this customer over here, customer 3, placed 3 orders. If you had to repopulate this with all customer information, then we would have 3 columns, 3 rows with the same customer information, name, address, and all those sort of things. Now we know it's customer 3, so we can go to the customer table and see which customer this is. And then for your product table, that's the information, product ID, description, price. If you look at the data, these are the products. It looks like they sell metal. So their products are different kinds of metal, and then you have price points for them. All right. So let me show you how to add another database. So you can use this option over here too. Add database. Let's open weather stations. So now we have 2 databases over here. We have Rex on Metal, we have Weather Station 2. So if you're writing commands, over here the table names are different. You might not run into a problem of typing one thing and then it goes to the other database because it wasn't connected, because the right one was not connected. But that could be a situation if you had multiple companies, Rex on Metal, and then some other company that has customer information and product information. If you're writing codes about customer and the wrong database is connected, then you might be pulling information for the other company. So if you want to connect to the to weather stations now, if you go to Rex on Metals, go ahead and disconnect, click on weather station. Oh, I think it automatically connected to weather station when we disconnected from Rex on Metals. You can go to Tools and then open SQL Editor. By doing this, you're going to get a place to write your SQL commands, and over here you'll be able to see the results from those SQL commands. So hopefully from this video you know how to download SQLiteStudio. You have some familiarity with the interface, how to load databases, how to go through the database, look at data structures, look at a little bit in the actual data that's available in each of those tables, and be able to open a SQL editor. Okay?